King. This all the talking. You can't imagine how bad these fighters want to get their hands on each other. Neither one of these fighters want to see the judges' scorecards. That hook was thrown with some bad intentions. That left-handed jab doesn't quite score. And this one has all of those big fight feels you want from a prize fight. Here we go.
You just see the nerves on a fight stepping into the ring, Tom. It can tell you so much about a fighter. And the look in the opposite corner, you've got one fighter that is in heaven. This is where they want to be.
Can they figure out the combination to this safe?
Perfectly matched, skill for skill, tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you, and so I've got to respect both of them more than happy.
Beautiful counter punch. Just when you think they're going to have a lull in the action, we get it heated back up. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there would be some more action here. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Despite what the judges' scorecards read, there are no losers in this one. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. Well, this is the time that the... Here we go for round two. It has been all one-way traffic. How do they turn this around?
That was a tough last round. Now you've got to make sure he doesn't put it on you, and that's what he's going to try and do. So tie him up, hold him, lean on him. Don't get drawn into a fight. Not yet. Not until your senses have come back.
This fighter embodies the cardinal rule of boxing. Hit and don't get hit.
Oh, this is what it's all about. Hit and don't get hit. Jab, move, pop, slip. Use your footwork. Drive your opponent crazy.
How about that time counter shot? You don't want to trade shots. They exchange punches. They blocked that right hook. This has been a very competitive round as we reach the midway point.
Skill for skill, tap for tap. Just like a match made in heaven.
And he scores with the counter. Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. You couldn't write a script like this. This is like Rocky versus Apollo. Someone use a jab here to establish a boxing presence, but no, they just want to fight. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. You know the scorecards are going to be all over the place in this one. Billy Dibb in that last round. Well, he is glad to have heard that bell.
Needs a knockout without...
Here we go in round three. Who's going to land the first big shot? So the fight will continue. How do they turn things around?
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Time he throws a punch, a receipt is coming right back. And just as quickly as it slows down, it heats back up. The perfect counter lands. Gotta let your hands go a little bit. It's okay to be aggressive now. Good fight so far. Both of these fighters have had their moments.
They're so close, so close. How can you separate them? It's going to be a hard night tonight for the judges.
Nice counter punch right up the middle. Those counter punches have to hurt. The stamina is off the charts. Every time they throw a shot, they get countered. A very competitive round with 10 seconds left. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. From this moment forward, he cannot afford to lose another round.
You know, I've been in fights like that.
On to the fourth we go. Well, they got battered last round. How do they turn their fortunes around?
This is one of those situations. You've just been hurt. You've got to get out there again. Be smart. Be sharp. Don't be a fool. Don't get suckered in. Make him fight your fight. Hold him, tie him up just until your head clears again and your legs come back again. Because if you don't, he's going to pop you off.
Miss with that jab. Beautiful counter shot. You can tell one of these fighters is starting to fade. What does he need to do to get back in this contest?
Now you've got two fighters that are absolutely shattered. What gets you through? Willpower. Calm, because if you panic, you get desperate. If you get desperate, you make mistakes. If you make mistakes, you get knocked out.
Back and forth they go in this round. The momentum continues to shift.
Perfectly matched. Skill for skill. Tap for tap. Now this fight will say, you know what, I'm just that notch above you. And so I've got to respect both of them. More than happy.
Can't find a home in that jab. When are we going to see a jab from these two? Throws the jab, it doesn't score. That counter punch caught him clean. Good counter punching. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. Well, we're entering desperate. Here we go in round 5. Who's going to land the first big shot? Safe to say that last round was a nightmare. Let's see if we can turn it around here.
Now he knows he's been hurt. He's going to come out and put the pressure on. He's going to throw the kitchen sink at you. You've got to be ready for that. Don't fight fire with fire. Hold him off. Be smart because he's going to try and put you under pressure. He knows your legs are gone. He knows your head's not cleared. Be sharp.
What do you think of what we've seen so far from these two boxers, Johnny?
So you're getting in there with someone that's so fast, you're prepared to take a licking because you've got to get some before you get him close.
Big hook thrown, but it doesn't connect. You'd like to see more jabs. Punch and just got countered. Not a lot of punch output. Thought there might be more action here. shot. These two fighters are made for one another. Just missed with that hook. Well done with that counter shot. Very close round with 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. Talk about a one... There's the bell to start round 6. They've got all the momentum on their side after that last round. Let's see what they do here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you've won that hands down.
Has to be careful for that receipt. It's always coming. Punch, counter punch. Power is obviously the great equalizer in boxing, but when you know your opponent is relying on that so heavily, how do you deal with it?
I've seen certain fighters that can depend on just their power alone. Forget tactics. They know the second they touch you, it's done. That's where the confidence comes from.
Nope, that jab not going to score. There's a counter shot. Punch. A perfect counter shot. Not a lot of defense here at all. His stamina is off the charts. So far, the offense has been better than the defense. This round's still up for grabs with just 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. After what we saw in that... Here we go, it's round 7. That last round was huge for him, Johnny. How does he keep the momentum going?
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? Excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been...
Whoa, Johnny, out of nowhere, look at this. Billy Dibb on the back foot. We almost saw a knockout a second ago, and now they're going toe-to-toe.
Now they've got to wake up. They've got to get on the back foot, clear the head a little bit, then jump back into it again. It's all about the hustle. Get back on it.
This fighter's certainly not going to out-throw their opponent by any means, but they will, when they hit, be a lot harder.
Sometimes when you get nervous, someone that's so powerful, you've got to think them. You've just got to be smarter than them. You've got to be like a little faggot and pickpocket them.
Catch and shoot. That counter shot lands. Nice counter. Nice counter shot. Nice counter punch. Couldn't land that jab. One punch could change anything when these two step in the ring. There's a counter shot. This round could go either way. 10 seconds to go. Let's talk about Billy Dibb in that last round. That bell could... There's the bell to start round 8. Off their stools and ready to go. Let's hope this round is more competitive.
They've had 1 minute to recover. Now they've got to bluff it. They've got to bluff it. They've got to come out now and style it out. Get on the back foot, jab, rest on the jab. Be smart and pop until your legs come back. Then put the pressure on.
Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. And he wasn't ready for that counter punch. Well done with that counter shot. Every time they drop their guard, they get caught. You've seen all the famous boxing movies, the training scenes, the gym work. That's what it all boils down to. Who's going to have more endurance?
Midway through the fight, if you are tired, this can be the loneliest place in the world. If you cheated, now we're going to find out.
What a round so far as we've reached the halfway point.
Skill for skill, tap for tap, just like a match made in heaven.
Both men step back for just a moment. How about that time counter shot? Defense is not an option for these two. Perfect counter shot. Nice counter shot. Some might have thought it was a little bit closer, but in the end, the referees